All right. So I wanted to do this. I wanted to share this reading my friend and I did together today. We were talking about the chisme and the gossip. And Spirit was talking to me about how the negative connotations with gossip, and actually about how women coming together and communicating was turned into something nasty. Not that it wasn't, not that there can't be nastiness with it, right? With gossip. Because that's, chisme is the gossip, right? But really, it's so interesting because I think about it as like the tea as well. Like, let's get the tea. And I always say, oh, I'm so curious. I'm so nosy. Like, yeah, I am. That's true, right? That's what got me into cards, because I want to understand, I want to know, and I want to have this deeper conversation about things. And I'm not good at taking no for an answer unless if I don't have to, right? Like, obviously when somebody's like, no, I'm not okay with that, like, okay, cool, no problem. But like, I don't know. Well, let's go find out. Let's figure it out. I've always been that guy. I've always been able to be a detective, that 007 energy, and get deeper into it, right? Um, in the sense of no being a boundary. I got all the respect in the world for that. But my friend and I were talking about the chisme, the gossip, and I always say that at the beginning of my readings. And all of a sudden I had this sense of like that being such a negative thing, and Spirit was like, it's not. It's about intention. It's like anything else, right? Something is not positive or negative, but rather how you do it and how you perceive it. How are you moving with the energy of it? How are you showing up in the world? And I was like, okay, that makes perfect sense, right? So I wanted to read about this, and my friend and I were totally invested because she says the same thing, like, let's get the cheese, man. So I was like, okay, let's get the cheese, man. ¿Por qué no? Porque podemos. Like, why wouldn't we when we can? So we do. Uh, and so I was fascinated by this. The cards that I got was the lover with gossip. I thought that was great. And the positive attribute of the gossip is awakens consideration for others and honoring trust, which was something that came up, was that being an excellent secret keeper. So myself, my friend, and then also this collective that I work with, I have a lot of people like this who are able to, who keep people's confidences and who do it with so much love. And that was exactly the message, was like, in the sense that I was talking about it, in the sense that my friends and I do it, we're just sharing and communicating with each other. We have great respect for one another, for the secrets that get told to us, because many people come to us as readers, right? And as confidants and coaches. Many people come and tell us their vulnerabilities. They share their weaknesses, their wounds, the things that they go through. And we just lovingly open our arms, like, literally. And Spirit was like, exactly, Whitney. That would be the difference. They're like, it can be used as a weapon. You can take it and use it as a way to poison people. Or you can take it as a way to show love and devotion. And I thought, oh, that's so interesting. And Spirit was like, in the way that I myself and my friends and my collective does this, is that the poet with the child magical, with the mentor. And so basically expressing, right, allowing others to share and to be heard, and then expressing what we're receiving or our wisdom or our advice in a way that is dynamic and creates a deeper sense of connection. And so it was fascinating to me, and I was like, oh, Spirit, wow. And Spirit's like, Whitney, we want you to make this video and to share it, because there are many who do it like you, and you guys have been taught to be quiet, or taught that you communicating with one another and sharing with each other or using each other as examples to help each other learn and grow is wrong. And it's not. It's not wrong at all. It's actually very beautiful. And it's a sacred way to share wisdom, to honor each other, and then to boost each other as we grow. Because my friends and I all use each other as examples and how to do something or how to work through something or ways in which that we have healed a wound, supported another, been inspiration, been encouragement, and grown, right, through the experience. And so basically what Spirit was saying is like the collective, the people who are doing this in this way basically have the ability to mentor one another, to bring love and to be light and to share beauty, and bring infiniteness to the conversation with this child magical. And then the mentor passes on wisdom and helps their folks refine, right? And I thought, wow, okay. And then I was like, what's the energy underneath this? Well, I got these 3 cards. And then I got these 3 cards. So we'll break them down. I got the hedonist. Inspires creative energy to embrace good things in life, celebrates the beauty in oneself. And I was like, oh, okay. And Spirit was like, yeah, Whitney, you guys have this way about you where you really are cheerleaders for others. You find all the ways to celebrate one another, to celebrate each other, and to really just like honor people where they are and for what they're doing, right? They were talking about this collective being able to see another for their progress and their growth without comparing them to some perfection or some ideal, right? For example, say you quit smoking cigarettes, right? And this is a very real example. Quit smoking cigarettes, and it's been 3 months, no cigarettes. Cigarettes are disgusting, right? But they start smoking cigars, right? Not all the time, but sometimes. And when talking about it to the person who's like, oh my gosh, so how's quitting smoking going? I'm like, fabulous. I have not smoked a cigarette in 4 months. Boop, 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 right? That's how the other person responds. And when the person who's like, but I'm still smoking some cigars. And that person is like, that's okay. You're doing a great job. Be proud of your progress. Reaching for perfection is never going to get you there. But sitting with yourself, loving yourself, honoring yourself, and seeing the beauty of your work, that's totally going to get you there. And from one person to another, I want to congratulate you on your success, on all of the work you've been doing to be your best self, to show up for yourself, to be more helpful, to be more loving. And so Spirit was like, in that sense, Whitney, that's that child magical. That's the poet. That's the mentor. It's also like spinning it in such a way where it's empowering rather than coming from default. Like Spirit's like, you guys have been taught to be so hard on yourselves and to constantly strive for perfection. And that's where your warrior comes out. Or you're like, I can do anything. I'm going to do it, to be diligent and hard. But Spirit's like, it doesn't have to be diligent and hard. It can be fun. It can be full of ease. Hiccups. Confirmation hiccups. Also, the more you root for yourself, the more you celebrate yourself and one another, the lighter the energy is, the more honoring of who you really are is. We're not here to suffer. Yes, pain and suffering is a part of the process. It helps create the transformations and the deaths. And this and that, and the 3rd, the 5th, the 12th, and the 16th are all true. But celebrating one's victories and coming into balance is the key over and over and over again. And I thought that was profoundly beautiful. And maybe somebody needed to hear that, right? Like maybe you're working on your fitness or your health, right? And you have got eating healthy down and you're killing it with eating healthy. But maybe you're not exercising as much as you would like. And Spirit's like, if you will focus on the fact that you're eating more healthy and that you're taking those steps, the smallest steps. Remember, the smallest steps lead to the profound victories in the end, because it is step-by-step action that leads to success. Oh, I'm going to take a moment to breathe really quick. Also, to remember and to honor that we don't know where everybody's coming from. When we meet a person, we have no idea everything that they've been through. Even when we're close to someone and they share with us their struggles, you don't know where their headspace is at or how hard they've worked to get there. And so to celebrate someone is to recognize them, is to value them, is to value their contribution to the all, is to see them, and then to hold someone, to sit with them, to bear witness to their process is beautiful and profound. It is also one of the most beautiful ways we can honor another, to believe in them, to know that they are so capable, and to celebrate them, and to hold anchor in that space of no matter how long it takes, you're going to get there. I know you are. I'm certain of it. From that, we transcend belief and we go into to trust, to certainty that it is going to happen. And when we hold that space for ourselves and for another, it just makes it easier and easier for them to arrive in that position. And so I thought it was so beautiful and profound. I was so encouraged to share. Oh my goodness. I'm going to drink some tea. Spirit said, even Whitney, even somebody who may not be eating completely healthy, but say they've cut out soda. Like, I know for me, sugar, huge addiction. I've been working on it and I'm doing such a good job. And I look out into my world and I see so many others doing the same, trying, just putting effort into it. And what a beautiful way to hold space for another and to say, you know, you're doing the thing. Good job. It's beautiful. Keep doing you. And then also to say, you inspire me, because it's true. We are constantly inspiring one another. I know when I look out into the world and I hear all of these others who are looking out into the world and they're seeing somebody do something that they've always wanted to do. They're like, oh my God, I want to do that so bad. And I'm like, yeah, rad, do it. That's so cool. And even somebody who's only in a planning stage of that, who's just being like, oh man, I really dream about that. That would be so amazing. For me, I personally quit smoking back on Valentine's Day. And it has been at least 3 years in the making that I quit. And it took me a long time to get there. And it was a step-by-step process. It was honoring myself. It was being patient with myself. 1313 on my timer. It was taking step-by-step actions. And all of these little tiny things then built to one day, just quitting. You know, literally just quitting and being like, okay, I'm done with that. I'm so done with that. I don't even want it. Today I walked into the grocery store and someone was smoking right at the entrance of the grocery store. And I was like, oh, that just freaking stinks. Do you know that up until about a month and a half ago, that cigarette smelled like heaven? Whereas now I'm just like, oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. Also, I have plenty of people around me who smoke cigarettes who I'm not in judgment of. If they want to smoke, they can smoke. That's for them. That's their choice. And who am I to say whether that's right or wrong? I just know for me that I decided that I was going to end that I didn't want to do that anymore. And as I was sitting there going through that moment with my friend where I was like, oh man, I've quit and I'm doing all this. And then boom, I smoked a cigar and I felt so guilty about it, but it was so good. It was so good. My friend being like, hey, I'm really proud of you and I think you're doing great. And I want you to know that, like, hats off to you. You did something that's really challenging. And I think that's awesome. I love the way that you value yourself. I love how much confidence you have in yourself. I love how you move. It inspires me and it gets me excited and it makes me want to do things for myself too. And I was like, oh, thank you. Right? Which brought me to the prostitute and then the dilettante. The prostitute accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. So again, you're doing it. You're killing it. You're making all these moves and it is so beautiful. And it's also okay that you still waver sometimes or that you fall back into an old pattern. I'm so proud of you for just witnessing your pattern, right? Not negotiating your power, not saying that just because you did this cancels out that. It doesn't. Both are true at the same time and are happening, and it's gorgeous and it's exciting and it's liberating and it's encouraging and it's inspiring, right? And so Spirit was talking about, or I was talking with Spirit and my friend about how I was channeling during this, how this kind of embodies that dilettante energy in the sense of making life an art. Life is a mastery. That is your mastery. It is my mastery. It is all of our masteries, right? And how when we don't get too perfectionist about it, when we don't focus too much on making it happen and rather allowing it and making it fun and making it, I always call it a dance, making it enjoyable, how much easier it becomes. And then it's so authentic and true. And celebrating that, right? So beautiful. And then Spirit was talking about, or we were talking about how my friends and I are hermits across the board. I think I have most of my friends, but minus like 3 or 4 who are not hermits. And Spirit was saying, you guys are so good at going within yourselves to evaluate, right? To focus on your inner self, your inner light, and then to serve yourself through your reflection, through your introspection. And I thought, that's so true. I never thought about hermit mode like that. I always think of hermit mode as like going within and taking the time to focus on yourself, right? But how that actually nurtures and supports your creativity. It was really beautiful because it actually also helped me shift my perspective about hermit moding, because I can be the most introverted of introverts and I can be the most extroverted of extroverts, but I notice I sit in that introvert polarity so much more, so much easier, and how fun it can be, particularly when it's something that I do to support me and others do to support themselves. It's beautiful. And when we were talking about gossiping and sharing love, the Father and the King came out, because the Father is about the talents for creating and supporting life, positively guiding light within a tribal unit, and how when we come together and we share with one another, when we seek solutions together, how much easier it is to transition and transform, right? To shift things. This is why so many of us are coaches. One of my good friends is a coach for people with disabilities, and particularly adults with disabilities. And she inspires me with the way that she finds limitlessness in life. And Spirit was saying, Whitney, so many of you who are healers have this purity within you. Have this purity within you, and your hermit mode and these conversations support you guys being detectives for each other and yourselves. How you guys have this powerful ability to observe and to bear witness to your own intuitions, and due to your quiet, your ability to sit in the stillness and listen, do you find truth? Because in that there isn't polarity. When you're open, when you're free, when you're relaxed, how the truth just comes and points you in the face and is like, hey, right here, hey, did you notice this? Did you witness this? And then also when we come together and share, how what one person or the other, or maybe a group didn't see, another person sees it and is like, hey, witness this, see this, look at what you're doing. Or, oh my gosh, the other day was perfect. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that. You're so good at seeing these things from this perspective. And my friend was like, oh, that's excellent, because I'm showing you this. And then you brought up this, and this healed my soul. Because this person I was talking to is always getting told that she is chismosa, because everybody comes to her to tell her all the information, and that she loves to sit and listen and pay and just like bear witness to people, listen to their stories and like sit with them and notice. And how that was actually father energy. and then king energy as well. Because in that king energy, you are benefiting those surrounding you. How that is actually beautifully balanced masculine and feminine energy, because the feminine sits and she receives, right? Sits and listens and intuits and receives, right? And then that masculine energy on the other side comes in with wisdom and advice to guide and to support. And the key here is coming to it with no expectation at all, actually delighting in the sharing, in the supporting, in the loving. And I thought, wow, universe, what a beautiful way to look at gossip. And Spirit said, yes, what a beautiful way to embody the energy of community. And and going back to this story that I heard about gossip, I was watching this whole thing about colonization and about when religion came in, they used it as a way to separate women and their communities by making it bad when they come together and tell their stories. And I thought, oh, how fascinating. And Spirit was like, by you guys doing this, you completely dismantle that and step back into your power and into a sense of community and into a sense of leadership and love. And you release these toxic ideas, these negative connotations that society has put upon us to control us. And I thought, this is absolutely beautiful. And embodying that healer and the virgin together to help each other, to support each other, to root for each other, to nurture each other, to love each other. And how beautiful and profound that is. You're already doing it. It's inside of you. It's not going outside of you, but rather coming within, right? And then sharing back out. It's so beautiful. It's so divine to me. I absolutely love it. And then also how so many of us actually have these abilities to observe and intuit the information that we're being shared. It's just absolutely gorgeous to me, and how much healing gets created through speaking authentic truth, and how we gift ourselves and each other through our wisdom, through by being present, by being in balance, masculine and feminine energy, how we heal the heartbreak together. And again, bring that full balance and then power each other up, right? To move forward through the pain and the fear. When we don't share, when we're isolated, when we have thoughts and belief systems that hold us back, we live in this fear and this separation, right? Which then leads to that hermit mode in reverse, right? The negative, the shadow aspects of the hermit mode, which is withdrawing from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need. When we let those toxic paradigms and belief systems go that we've been taught, that the people before us have been taught, because this is generations. This is actually healing generational curses. We come together and we create these beautiful partnerships full of love, support, care, community. And we don't give up because we get this encouragement, this celebration, which keeps our fires roaring into getting our dreams come true. It's so beautiful and profound, like the way that when we can share and face our fears, how we create this beautiful balance and this huge amount of abundance and fertility. Like, do you see that? This huge amount of abundance and fertility, and how she is within the water, feeling all of those emotions, sitting with them. She is in the stillness, in the water, in the emotions, feeling it all. Creating these powerful transformations that move us out of our fears and our illusions, that help us see ourselves by removing these blindfolds and seeing ourselves so clear, clearing away the mind chatter and actually sinking back into our own souls, which leads us to breaking these cycles of being so mean and hard on ourselves, and also allowing others to tell us what is right rather than intuiting that and feeling that for our own self. It's beautiful and profound. It truly is. Which right down here, I have this 10 of Cups, right? This brings this emotional fulfillment, this satisfaction, these feelings of love and community and connection, which is who we truly are, right? In all of our authentic glory. And when we allow ourselves to hold space for all of our feelings and allow others, we hold space for others to feel all of their feelings without this sense of judgment, and rather looking at them more critically, more analytically in that sense, without attachment, without the polarity of positive and negative, how much healing we create through that balance and that union. It moves me. It's beyond profound. Mwah. Magic. Delightful, delicious magic. This lovely sense of union, right? And then within that union, creating the Midas touch with stability, creating huge deaths and transformations as we give care to ourselves and others, filling our cup so full, and then walking out into this beautiful world and sharing that. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And so over here we have justice as well with moving forward, right? Creating this balance, this justice, this acceptance, this allowance, this love, which allows us to go forth and to continue building for ourselves, to continue expanding and vibrating and being just all of this profound love, nurturing us within our soul family groups to continue to create heaven on earth and take these giant leaps and receive these beautiful inspirations that just enable us to continue to grow and to become our most authentic versions in love, in love. So gorgeous, you guys. So freaking gorgeous. I'm just like in awe of the beauty of this energy. And so I hope this inspires you. Please share with me how this happens for you, how you experience this, all the different ways this enlightens you. I hope you have the most beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers, beautiful beings. Also, don't forget, if you would like to follow me on my socials, my link tree is in my is in the description box. And also, if you want to book a private session with me, you totally can. I have my website now up. I did that for myself. Dreams in the making, literally happening. You can hit me up at misswhitneyb.com and book a tarot, an oracle, a channeling session, a mediumship session, loved ones passed on, reiki, animal communication. It's all there. Go check me out. I wish you the most beautiful day. Cheers.